Welcome back to Kabiga's Reviews. Today we're looking at the 25th film in the James Bond series, No Time to Die, directed by Kerry Joji Fukunaga and starring Daniel Craig, Lea Seydoux, Rami Malek, Lashana Lynch, Ben Whishaw, Naomi Harris, Jeffrey Wright, Christoph Waltz, and Ray Fiennes, among others. James Bond is enjoying a tranquil life in Jamaica after retiring from active service. However, his peace is short-lived as his old CIA friend Felix Leiter shows up and asks for help. The mission to rescue a kidnapped scientist turns out to be far more treacherous than expected, leading Bond on the trail of a mysterious villain who's armed with a dangerous new technology. Thanks for clicking on this video. All I ask is that you give us a like, comment down below and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget the notifications bell so that you won't miss any future content. Okay, so No Time to Die. I'm here to talk to you about the latest James Bond film that has finally been released after so many delays due to the COVID pandemic. And not just that, it's had a rather storied and troubled production, which I'm not going to go into here because I don't really know enough about it. Suffice to say that Danny Boyle was originally going to make it, and ultimately he left and didn't end up making it, and that caused delays and all sorts of stuff. But that's for other more learned people to talk about. I want to talk to you about the film itself, okay? I am going to try and do no spoilers. I'm going to actively try not to do any spoilers. But this is, just in case I do, this is a spoiler warning. I do apologise for that. If I end up spoiling anything, I will try not to. But just in case, and you want to watch the film without having any spoilers, then click on out of here, go watch it, and then obviously come back. I do want you to come back. So, Daniel Craig's swan song as James Bond, which ends apparently a 15-year stint as the MI6 agent, which is really quite something. I didn't realise it was quite so long, 15 years as the James Bond, the current James Bond. But yeah, no more. So Daniel Craig is done with James Bond. What I want to say about this film is that it looks phenomenal, as all Bonds do. If you go back to Dr. No and watch all the older ones, the Sean Connery, even George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, they all look wonderful. One of the great things about a James Bond movie is that you get to travel the world without going anywhere. They go so many nice places, and No Time to Die is no different. The cinematography is stunning, and I must say the stunts are easily rival any of the current movies out there, the Fast and the Furious or Jason Bourne or anything like that. It certainly keeps up that level of spectacle. That's the best word I can use for it. Just looks amazing, and it's always a great adrenaline ride. But what makes this Bond film stand out, maybe over and above the others, is the character pieces in it. It's a long film, don't get me wrong. It's just shy of 3 hours, so you know, it's not necessarily for the faint-hearted. But for me, now some other reviewers have said that it does feel long, but for me, I don't think it did. It wasn't exactly fast-paced like, say, Endgame or something like that. But I didn't feel like it dragged. There were certain parts of it that I suppose weren't necessarily necessary for it, that could have been cut. But the fact that they haven't been, I don't think ruins the film at all. I think it's great. I really thoroughly enjoyed all the character pieces because everybody got a chance to shine. Everybody gets their own pieces. You know, the guy who plays Q, he's really come on since he was introduced as a young lad, and James kind of comments on, wow, you know, but he's really good in it. And Naomi Harris has done so well since Skyfall as Moneypenny. You know, she's just brilliant. And the new character, Nomi, is, well, no spoilers. I'm no spoilers, but let me just say, I loved what they did with 007 and James Bond. Okay, that's not a spoiler, and if you don't understand that, I do apologize. Once you've seen the film, you will. Okay, so I really liked that. I've always said, in fact, in one of my other reviews, I said I wasn't a fan of just gender swapping for the sake of it, because I actually said you couldn't have a female James Bond because James Bond is a man. But I also said that there's no reason why you couldn't have an MI6 agent equivalent, or if not better than James Bond. There's no reason. It's just that wouldn't be James. That's all I'm saying. You know, because James is James. So, yeah, she was fantastic. She was easily James's equal, if not better. As I said, I mean, I don't know if she's better. I suppose time will tell. She was certainly brilliant, certainly gripping, and a welcome addition to the wider James Bond universe, if you like. What else can I say? The soundtrack was really good. I loved the references to past Bonds, because there are little Easter eggs that you can see. And if you listen, certain things are said that pay homage to, for example, on Her Majesty's Secret Service even, he mentions "We've All the Time in the World," which was the famous Louis Armstrong song from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. In fact, that song plays over the end credits of No Time to Die. So it's almost like it's done what Die Another Day tried to do as the 20th Bond on the 20th anniversary. That had so many Easter eggs that referenced previous Bonds, like, for example, the diamonds that James Bond challenged the bad guy with his own diamonds, which was a complete nod to Diamonds Are Forever. So there's loads of things, loads of little Easter eggs in Die Another Day that celebrate the Bond that had gone before. But that film, Die Another Day as a whole, how can I put this? It's silly, you know, it's just ridiculous. You know, I didn't think it was a particularly bad film, but as a Bond film, it was just, oh man. Anyway, so that's it. No Time to Die, I think, did it so much better. It's like a grown-up version of what Die Another Day tried to do, in the sense that it has little winks and nods to what's gone before, and it does it so much better in a so much more mature way. That they're not overt or anything, but those that know will know, and they will get it, you know. And I think that lends itself to being a great swan song for Daniel Craig himself. It's like giving a little tip of the hat to what's gone before and saying, you know, thank you for your service. Because I think personally this is Daniel Craig's movie, and it's Daniel Craig's James Bond's movie. Once you've seen the film, you'll get what I mean by that. It's James's story, really, rather than just being centered on his conflict with a big bad like a Bond villain. You know, obviously, it is actually his character development that I feel stands front and center of this film. You know, it's still a Bond film. It still has some great villains. Blofeld is brilliant in it. Rami Malek's villain is really quite good in it, though he's not in it as much as you'd think. But maybe less is more. You know, I really enjoyed him. It's a typical Bond in the sense that it's got some bad guy that wants to destroy the world and thinks he's doing the right thing, and he's got lavish sets and lavish set pieces, you know, and yeah, it's typical Bond fare in that sense. So if that's your thing, that's basically what we watch Bond for. Like when you go to see The Fast and the Furious, it's an action movie with loads of cars in, and then now and again somebody mentions family, you know. But this film is like that. It's got the spectacular action sequences and the great, fantastic cinematography, the actual stunts that are done in camera, much like Fast and Furious. This has a bit more heart to it than what the Fast and Furious films have come to have. So it's like a more mature movie, and I think personally I really enjoyed it. So I don't have many negatives to say about it, but it has left me, no spoilers as I say, it has left me pondering the future of this franchise. I don't want to give it away. I'm sure that if you googled it or searched on YouTube, you'd be able to see what I am talking about, but I don't know. I'm intrigued to see where they go. Right at the very end, it says James Bond will return, as all Bond movies will. I'm intrigued to see where they go now, and I want to see. I'm interested to see, and it'd be a shame, a real shame, if it was they didn't carry on with the same cast. You know, I mean, Ralph Fiennes is doing brilliantly as M. It fits. You know, as I said earlier, Naomi Harris as Moneypenny is brilliant. That new actress, I forget her name, I do apologise, that plays Naomi, she's brilliant. She's great. Q, you know, they're all there. Everything's there. So also something worth noting, that one of the standout things about Daniel Craig's era as James Bond has been that he's been a more grounded Bond, and he's been more realistic, set in the real world. It's not been about fancy laser watches and rocket pens and darts and stuff like that, what's gone before. He's been more reliant on himself and being highly trained as a super spy and a killer, right? But this film does have a gadget, all right? I'm not going to ruin it, but the gadget is back. So it's nice. In his last film, it's not overfilled with them, it's not silly or anything like that, it's not like an invisible car, but yeah, the gadget is back. So it's nice to see Bond with a gadget in his final film, or in Daniel Craig's final film is what I mean. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice to see, because it wasn't overly overdone, and it wasn't something silly like, you know, a scanner that tells him 20 feet away what behind a wall or some stuff, I don't know, or a crocodile suit, you know, something like that. So it was quite good. I really enjoyed it. Didn't find it over long. Enjoyed the soundtrack. Absolutely loved the performances. Daniel Craig's performance was really good. I mean, when he first became Bond, there was all these, oh, he's too blonde for Bond, he's not James Bond, you know, but he really has made the role his own, and it's a fantastic swan song, and it's nice, actually, thinking about it, for a Bond character, for a Bond actor, should I say, to actually have a final film that allows him to have that swan song. Because previous Bonds, the actor's either been sacked, or like, for example, Sean Connery, he fell out with the producers, so he just didn't quite get a proper send-off. You know, Pierce Brosnan was sacked, allegedly. Timothy Dalton never got a third film to tie up his little story, you know. So it's nice, and it's really actually refreshing and unique within the Bond series, which is something to say, that a Bond actor gets a chance to close out his chapter, and it works. It really does work. So when I went to the cinema today, believe it or not, every single screen was showing No Time to Die. They weren't showing anything else. So this film is potentially going to be huge, because not even Avengers Endgame had that. So yeah, James Bond, No Time to Die. Thank you very much, Daniel Craig. Before I give you my score and my recommendation for this, I would like to remind you to mash that subscribe button, hit the notifications bell so that you always get notified when I put new videos up, which isn't so often, so it's not going to spam your inbox. And leave a comment down below. What's your favourite Bond movie? Who's your favourite Bond and why? I'd be interested to know. I'd love to know. You know, what did you think of No Time to Die? I'd love to know what you thought of it. Do you agree with what I've said? Do you agree? Do you think it's a great movie? Have you seen it? Are you looking forward to seeing it? Did your cinema show just Bond? You know, I'd love to know. So finally, My score for James Bond's No Time to Die, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. Okay? It's really good. It's not a perfect film, but it is really good. And it's a great swan song for Daniel Craig. So I'm going to recommend this film. Go watch James Bond's No Time to Die. Alright? Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, drop us a like and subscribe to see all future content.